So I start the recording now, and I give the floor to Davide Vernassa for giving us the presentation.
Thank you, Eleni. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our webinar, like Eleni presented. In this webinar, I will show you and try to explain our experience with the integration of some accessibility enhancement from the P4All developer space and in our business intelligence product called Knowage. We will talk about the problem we encountered, the developing needs, and our results. The agenda is the one that Eleni showed you before. I will start with talking about who I am and which is the suite that I'm working on. Then I will try to explain all our integration with P4All and Prosperity for All and Developer Space. Then I will give you a brief demo about our integrations, and then I will list you all available resources about Knowage, and then we will have some minutes for for questions and answer if needed. First of all, here I am. I'm Davide Vernassa. I work for engineering from Engineering Group. I'm in the site of Turin, Italy, and I'm the front-end leader developer of the Knowage team. Knowage Lab team. My mail is the following. If for any for any problem or for any doubt regarding this webinar topic, you can write me. Feel free to do so. Now, we can talk about the actual situation of the business intelligence world that has none to very few examples of good inclusive patterns. Living in a market that is growing out of alternatives for interested people with various impairments. So we believe that open source communities like the developer space should play a leading role in research and improvement on web evolution, about the web tools, and to do so even for business intelligence tools like ours. Our goal with Prosperity for All is to take care and think about possible solution to the problems that people with visual impairments and motive impairments usually encounter browsing this kind of software. And we want to be one of the good examples that other developers will follow to enhance this market field. And that's that's why we started contributing to the project in 2015 with Spago BI. But the time passing, Spago BI evolved into a more mature project that best meets the criteria of modern business intelligence and advanced analytics. And this is our product, is Knowage. Knowage is a complete open source business intelligence suite powered by Engineering Group, my company. And this suite adopts a modular approach with 7 different products that cover all the different analytical needs like location intelligence or performance management that are needed in the actual business intelligence world. As I said before, Knowage is powered by our company, Engineering Group, which is the Italian leader in the information technology sector, with with over 9,000 employees and about 50 sites around the world. We are promoting innovation in organization, processes and services with the passion and enthusiasm of a typical Italian company. For any information, please visit the site www.hang.it. Now, let's talk about our integration. As you can see, those titles try to describe the blocks that we found inside the developer space, and we worked on to insert inside our code. Some other are enhancements that we found with some other Prosperity for All partners. Our goal, as I said, is to make our business intelligence software one of the most inclusive and designed to fit better the needs of our visual and motive impairment users. An example of something that we did but is not listed in our integration is that we removed, for those who know Spago BI, we removed the accessible reports from the report typologies. We tried to add those different enhancements available to every user with some specific functionalities for user with impairments. Let's start with ARIA. ARIA labels or ARIA tags are special HTML attributes designed to help the assistive technology like screen readers to attach a meaningful label to an otherwise anonymous HTML elements. For example, a button. A button is a good example to something that a user needs to do his interaction. And with these labels, we can easily tell the people that this for their screen readers that this is a button, and will be easier for them to interact with it. It's also useful to help readers to follow an easier navigation, as I said. So identify important elements in the page or hiding the one that are useless. For example, elements to make the page beautiful but not important for the navigation. To help our job to insert the correct ARIA tags into the correct positioning, we use an AngularJS library called ng-area. This library helped us a lot preparing the correct ARIA attributes using the default Angular attributes we were finding inside our code. And it was notifying us when we were missing something. This integration was very important for us to create a common sense between the many different developers that we have inside our company, inside our team, and that were involved in our project. So we can say that this integration gives us a common pattern to follow. Mouseless navigation. We cannot call this one integration, but maybe it's better to say a change in our approach to the navigation, because the navigation itself in a business intelligence suite can be very, very difficult. For people with visual or motive impairments, could be even worse. We know very well. So we try to use latest technologies and development patterns to give a wide range of different navigation to our users, or at least in the most of our pages. For example, we used a lot the tab index tags, as you can see in the screenshot, to give an order in the navigation. And we highlighted the focused elements when the user is in the accessibility mode to make it easier to see the selected element. We followed the standard interaction patterns with the keyboard buttons. For example, we used a lot the the interaction with the spacebar, with the enter button to enter or start elements, or with the arrows or the tab button to move between the items. What else can I say? Other design changes that we did were about the menu, because some users told us that the menu is the first most important interaction for people with visual impairments, because they need to move faster between different pages, and to do so the menu must be easy to reach. So we made it the first available interaction without the mouse. So the first thing you can do in entering a page is to interact with the menu. Of course, our navigation is still not perfect, because we have many different options, visualization, and different user with different needings and with very different priorities. But we aim to make it easier every time we make an update. So if you have any feedback, so if any user has some feedback, they are very welcome. This very strong title represents our first big integration, the one with the user interface option preferences, YO, from now on. Is a tool from the Fluid project, which is part of the Prosperity for Project 2. That give the user the possibility, as you can see, to customize their experience on the web page. With this tool, it's possible to change the font dimension, the spacing, or change the colors to give high contrast, as you can see in the screenshot. High contrast, less contrast, different color bindings. This, as I said, was a very big and difficult integration for us because of our software structure. We used many iframes to show the reports or to navigate between different engines. So the YO preferences were not made to fit very well inside the different pages with different iframes. We had a very, how can I say, not regular structure. So every iframe is like living its own life. And all preferences set to a page at the beginning were not transferring to the others. So now, and with the help of the team of Fluid, we found a way to locally store inside cookies the preferences that the user made. We tried to keep them aligned in different in the different iframes using the updating of these cookies. At the end, with their team and with the community behind them, we found a solution, an architectural solution for this problem that we added in the next integration that we will see. If you are interested in this project, for any more information, you can see their website, which is fluidproject.org, where you will find the documentation about our integration tool and to integrate YO inside every website. This was the integration I was talking about, and to solve the YO problem that we had, we changed our approach to the preferences, because we needed a storage that could refresh the preferences between different iframes. To do so, we took the idea from the preferences server, which is a project that is developing the Fluid team, but was not finished yet when we needed. So we create something very similar, and that was useful for us. So we created a specific accessibility mode that every user is able to enable to inside the menu of our application. And this will save the selected preferences from the UIO in our database and serve them after every page load inside and put them inside the cookies. We were able to keep the selections between different devices or different sessions, binding the data to the login credentials. So if I want someone else to predefine the page for me and to give them a high accessibility pattern, something like, I don't know, an high contrast or very high font dimension, they can do it for me. And then when I will log in, I will find these preferences ready for me. Then in this integration or enhancement is better to say, we tried to make a complex report like a geolocalized map or a chart easier to read for the screen readers. First of all, we searched around the web a way to show the data sets data to the user. But in the end, we made it creating an hidden container with an accessible table with all the data inside. This table is hidden behind the GeoBI or the map or the chart, and is hidden with the usage of area labels. So what we are doing is to hide the map for the screen readers, showing the dataset data. Otherwise, for normal navigation, we hide the table and we show the map. We do the same thing with the chart, obvious. After some confrontation with the real user and with other Prosperity for partners, we noticed that the numerical data that was showing in the dataset was not a good representation for the screen readers. They were hearing something 0.54321, and hearing all this number was not so indicative to understand the data they were browsing. So we created the customizable ranges, as you can see in the screenshot, where to insert the value. Something like low, high, very low. In this way, the author can leave different ranges specific for the report, and can create custom ones to be more to be easier to understand or self-explaining. As I said, we did the same thing for some type of charts, especially when we were using Chart.js, and we did so following guidelines from Assets CMS Gov that give us a good idea to do so. Our last but not least integration is the one with RoboBraille, because we made a lot of researches and different tries to find a good accessible PDF converter. In the end, we found RoboBraille as a converter. RoboBraille is a set of conversion API by Census project, which is another participant of Prosperity for All project, and is able to transform many different web constructs to their accessible version. As I said, we searched a lot because at the beginning we think that was difficult for us to integrate something which is an external API, because we have an open source software that we like to give as a independent package. But in the end, it was really worth the trade. We use it to convert our tables inside the cockpit, the dashboard that we have as a kind of report. And we converted to accessible PDF in a perfect A11Y compliances. We had some initial problems for the different authentication approach, but in the end we managed to integrate it, as I will show you after. Then we were so happy about this integration that we also integrated the MP3 conversion tool. It's always on the table to directly read the exported elements. And why not? We are willing to add some more in the future because, as you can see, if you will browse their site, there are many available conversions into accessible formats. If you are interested, this is the webpage of their project. Now I will start to show you a little demo about the integration that I just show you. So, a second. Okay, welcome in the Knowage login screen. As you can see, at the moment I have done no interaction with my mouse. Now we start login with our demo user. Okay, here we are inside the menu, inside the main page, sorry. There we can find two kinds of documents for the moment to show, that are the map that I just showed you and the cockpit. Let's start with the map. For demo purpose, we cannot use a screen reader, but I will show you something that is simulating this behavior. As you can see, a map like that is very difficult. It's very complex to browse because we will need to interact with specific elements and we will need to read the specific information above them. For a screen reader, this is very difficult to understand. So what we have done is to create something like this, hidden and readable only by the screen readers, that will list all the items inside the dataset and will give some ranges about the data. As you can see, these ranges are giving us information that are more meaningful respect to some kind of numerical data. Because, for example, having this data made me understand how much my country spends on healthcare. But and I can show you if you want, just searching Italy. And as you can see, it's low compared to other countries like USA or Britain. But with this kind of representation, I could understand in a few seconds how much does my country expend on healthcare. Having just numbers, if I'm not an expert in this field, will not give me the same information. So for a screen reader that will read a very long list of data, this for me is a good representation. This kind of data is available for the author in different ranges. So we can just use two ranges like low and high, or use something else. And what the user will see will be a different representation of these ranges. Okay, so let's move to a different integration. The one with the accessibility mode and the UIO preferences. Sorry, I have the GoToMeeting bar, okay. I will enable the accessibility mode now. As you can see, nothing seemed to change, but now we will have many more possibilities. First of all, sorry for the Comic Sans, was my predefined font. As you can see, we have a big highlight now on what we are selecting that will make it easier by default to see for people with visual impairments. But the important thing is that we can change all the page behaviors tied to the fonts, to the spacing, to the colors, and we can give the user something like that. That will be easier for some kind of user impairments, will be easier to read and easier to understand. Now let's try to see the cockpit. Okay, as you can see, this little this moment where we can see everything with a different color was the fault of different iframes. But in the same moment that we understand that we are inside an iframe, we give the new the stored preferences to the page, so it will behave in the same way we choose before. As you can see, this is our cockpit, and we can change the preferences as we did before, and the cockpit will follow. Then I will show you our big integration, the one with RoboBraille, and we will try to export this table to an accessible PDF format. Sorry for the little delay, but we are behind a proxy, so it will take longer than usual. Okay, we have just downloaded the accessible version of this table. This accessible version will be available to screen readers or other devices that will help people with visual impairments to read the data. For us, it's an enhancement also for other people, because, for example, let's try to download an MP3 of this table. This MP3, when will be downloaded, will be available to every user to bring them with their MP3 reader, with their car MP3 reader, and will be available to hear even when there's no possibility, for example, when driving. They now can hear an MP3 with all the data. This kind of data is not so representative to read at the moment, but can be other reports when people can be very interested in, and can be heard while driving, which in many countries like ours is forbidden to read in different way. So those are the integration. The last one I want you to see is related to the to keeping our preferences in different sessions. So I will log out from this user, and I will try to log in with another user. As I expected, the user will continue to browse normally. So I will switch again to our P4All demo user. As you can see, all our preferences are now stored. So we can create some kind of role, some kind of specific user for people with visual impairments that can arrive directly in an environment which will fit easier, will be easier for them to read and to move in. After that, I will like to give you some resources to try yourself the integration that I just showed you, and to test our product. This is our website. There you can find many information about the suite, and those are the repository of our open source code from GitHub or OV2. There you will find also the documentation. If you have any question about technical issue or similar, you can ask them inside the Q&A support website that we have. For any other question tied to the webinar, I'm here for you.
Okay, thank you, Davide. So, great presentation. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, you can ask Davide now.
Oh, sorry.
You can also send him an email. You already have the email address of the presenter, so you can contact him anytime. And you will also find the slides and the contact email address, as well as the recordings, available online on the Prosperity for All website very soon. Okay, so if there are no questions, then I would like to thank you all, and especially our engineering partner. Thank you, Davide, for the presentation. Thank you all for being here.